The Enchanted Forest of Ealdor. In the kingdom of Ealdor, nestled between vast mountains and sprawling forests, a quiet village thrived. Its people were hardy and kind, living off the land and tending to their crops and livestock. The village, known as Eldenwood, was renowned for its tranquility and the warmth of its community. But beyond the village, deep within the ancient forest, lay a place shrouded in mystery and magic, an enchanted forest that few dared to enter. The forest, called Aeloria, was said to be a realm of wonder and danger. Tales of enchanted creatures, ancient spirits, and hidden treasures had been passed down through generations. But the most captivating legend was that of the guardian of Aeloria, a powerful being said to protect the forest and its secrets. No one had seen the guardian and lived to tell the tale, and many dismissed it as a mere myth. However, in the heart of Eldenwood, there lived a young woman named Elara, who was about to embark on a journey that would unveil the truth behind the legend. Elara was not an ordinary villager. She possessed a rare gift, an innate connection to nature. From a young age, she could sense the emotions of animals, understand the whispers of the wind, and feel the pulse of the earth beneath her feet. Her emerald green eyes glowed with a quiet intensity, and her long auburn hair cascaded down her back like a river of fire. Elara's parents had passed away when she was a child, and she was raised by her grandmother, Eloan, who was the village healer and a wise woman well-versed in the lore of Aeloria. One crisp autumn morning, Elara's life took an unexpected turn. She awoke to find her grandmother gravely ill. Eloan's skin was pale, and her breath came in ragged gasps. Elara knelt by her bedside, holding her frail hand. "Grandmother, what is happening?" Elara's voice trembled with fear. Eloan's eyes fluttered open, and she managed a weak smile. "Elara, my dear, the time has come for you to fulfill your destiny. The forest calls to you." Elara's heart pounded in her chest. She had always felt a pull towards Aeloria, but she had never dared to venture beyond the village's borders. "What do you mean, grandmother?" Eloan's grip tightened on Elara's hand. "There is an ancient magic in the forest, a magic that can heal and protect. But it is also a magic that must be respected and understood. You must seek the guardian of Aeloria. Only they can save me." Tears welled up in Elara's eyes. "But how will I find the guardian? How will I know where to go?" Eloan's gaze softened. "Trust in your gift, Elara. The forest will guide you. And remember, you are never alone." With a heavy heart, Elara prepared for her journey. She gathered supplies, a cloak to keep her warm, a satchel of herbs and remedies, and a dagger for protection. As she stood at the edge of the forest, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for the unknown. The moment she stepped into Aeloria, she felt a profound shift. The air was thick with magic, and the forest seemed to hum with life. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. Elara's senses were heightened, and she could hear the faint murmurs of the trees, as if they were whispering secrets. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered various creatures, some familiar, like deer and rabbits, and others wondrously strange. Luminescent butterflies flitted about, leaving trails of sparkling light, and tiny, mischievous sprites darted between the trees, giggling and chattering. Elara walked for hours, her mind racing with thoughts of her grandmother and the guardian. As dusk fell, she found a clearing by a crystal-clear stream. She decided to make camp there for the night, hoping to continue her journey at first light. As she settled down to rest, she heard a rustling in the bushes. Her hand instinctively went to her dagger, but before she could draw it, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a man, tall and clad in simple yet sturdy clothes. His hair was dark and unruly, and his eyes were a piercing blue. "Who are you?" Elara demanded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The man raised his hands in a gesture of peace. My name is Kael. I mean you no harm. Elara studied him warily. What are you doing here? Kael smiled faintly. I could ask you the same. But I suspect our reasons for being here are not so different. Elara's curiosity got the better of her. And what reason might that be? Kael's expression grew serious. I seek the guardian of Aeloria. Elara's eyes widened in surprise. You too? Kael nodded. Yes. I have been searching for some time. I believe the guardian holds the key to ending a great evil that threatens not only this forest, but the entire kingdom. Elara felt a spark of hope. Then perhaps we should join forces. I am Elara, and I seek the guardian to save my grandmother. Kael extended his hand. It seems our fates are intertwined. Together we may have a better chance of finding what we seek. Elara hesitated for a moment before shaking his hand. Very well. We will journey together. As night fell, Elara and Kael shared stories by the fire. Kael revealed that he was a ranger, skilled in tracking and survival. He had been sent by his village, which had been plagued by mysterious dark forces. They spoke of strange creatures that attacked without warning and crops that withered overnight. Kael believed that the source of the darkness lay deep within Aeloria and that the Guardian held the power to dispel it. Elara, in turn, shared her own story of her gift, her grandmother, and the legends of Aeloria. As they talked, they discovered a shared sense of duty and determination. Despite their different backgrounds, they were united by their quest and their hope for a better future. The journey through Aeloria. The next morning, Elara and Kael set out together, following the stream deeper into the forest. The journey was arduous, and the forest grew denser and more mysterious with each passing day. They encountered challenges, treacherous ravines, enchanted traps, and creatures both wondrous and dangerous. One day, as they were crossing a narrow stone bridge over a chasm, they were ambushed by a group of goblins. The creatures were small but fierce, wielding crude weapons and snarling with malice. Kael drew his sword, and Elara readied her dagger. Stay close, Kael said, his voice steady. The battle was intense, but Kael's skill and Elara's agility proved a formidable combination. They fought side by side, defending each other and driving the goblins back. When the last goblin fell, panting and covered in sweat, they shared a triumphant smile. You fight well, Elara said, catching her breath. Kael nodded. And you are quick and resourceful. We make a good team. As they continued their journey, their bond grew stronger. They learned to trust each other implicitly, each drawing strength from the other's presence. The forest seemed to test them at every turn, but they faced each challenge with determination and courage. One evening, as they made camp by a shimmering pond, Elara noticed Kael staring into the distance, a troubled expression on his face. What's on your mind? She asked gently. Kael sighed. I have been thinking about my village. My people are suffering, and I fear that if we do not find the Guardian soon, it may be too late. Elara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We will find the Guardian, Kael. I believe in us. And when we do, we will put an end to the darkness. Kael turned to her, gratitude in his eyes. Thank you, Elara. Your strength and resolve give me hope. They sat in companionable silence, watching the stars reflect in the pond's surface. Despite the challenges they faced, there was a growing sense of connection and trust between them, a bond forged through shared struggle and mutual respect. The heart of the forest. After many days of travel, Elara and Kael reached the heart of Aeloria, a place of breathtaking beauty and profound magic. The air was thick with enchantment, and the trees seemed to glow with an inner light. In the center of the clearing stood a massive ancient oak, its branches reaching towards the sky like the arms of a guardian. "This must be it," Kael whispered, awe in his voice. Elara nodded, feeling the pulse of magic in the air. The guardian must be near. As they approached the oak, they noticed intricate carvings on its trunk, symbols and runes that seemed to tell a story. Elara reached out to touch the carvings, and as her fingers brushed the bark, a soft light emanated from the tree. Suddenly, a figure appeared before them, a tall, ethereal being with eyes that shimmered like the stars and hair that flowed like liquid silver. The Guardian of Aeloria. "Welcome, seekers," the Guardian's voice echoed, both gentle and powerful. "I have been expecting you." Elara and Kael knelt before the Guardian, their hearts pounding with a mixture of awe and anticipation. "Great Guardian," Elara began, "we have come to seek your help. My grandmother is gravely ill, and only your magic can save her. And Kael's village is under attack by dark forces. We believe you hold the power to end the suffering." The Guardian's gaze softened. "You have shown great courage and determination in your journey. The magic you seek is indeed powerful, but it is not without its price." Kael looked up, determination in his eyes. "We are willing to do whatever it takes." The Guardian nodded. "Very well. To heal the land and dispel the darkness, you must each make a sacrifice. Elara, you must give up your connection to nature. And Kael, you must relinquish your weapon and vow to protect the forest with your life." Elara felt a pang of sorrow at the thought of losing her gift, but she knew it was a small price to pay to save her grandmother and help Kael's village. "I accept." Kael hesitated for a moment, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. But then he looked at Elara, and his resolve hardened. "I accept as well." The Guardian raised their hands, and a soft light enveloped Elara and Kael. Elara felt a gentle warmth flow through her, and for a moment, she could sense the heartbeat of the forest. Then, the connection faded, leaving her feeling strangely empty but resolute. Kael's sword glowed with a soft light before dissolving into a shower of sparks. He felt a new sense of purpose fill him, a commitment to protect the forest and its magic. The Guardian smiled. "You have made your sacrifices with honor and courage. The magic will now flow to heal and protect." As the light faded, Elara and Kael felt a profound sense of peace. They had succeeded in their quest, but the journey had changed them in ways they had not anticipated. The return. Elara and Kael made their way back to Eldenwood, their hearts light despite the challenges they had faced. When they arrived, they found the village bathed in the golden light of dawn. Elara rushed to her grandmother's cottage, her heart pounding with hope. Inside, she found Eloan sitting up in bed, her color restored and a smile on her lips. "Grandmother!" Elara cried, tears of joy streaming down her face. Eloan embraced her. "Oh, Elara, you have done it. The magic of the forest has healed me." Kael stood at the doorway, a smile on his face as he watched the reunion. He knew that his village would soon be free of the darkness, and that their sacrifices had brought about a new era of peace and hope. As the days passed, Elara and Kael grew even closer, their bond strengthened by their shared journey. They continued to protect the forest and help their communities, drawing on the wisdom and magic they had gained. One evening, as they stood at the edge of Aeloria, watching the sunset, Kael took Elara's hand. "You know, Elara, our journey has taught me something important," he said, his voice filled with warmth. "That true strength comes from the connections we forge and the sacrifices we are willing to make for those we love." Elara smiled, her heart full. "And that magic is not just in the forest, but in the hearts of those who believe in it." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the land, Elara and Kael knew that their story was only just beginning. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, their hearts united by love, courage, and the timeless magic of Aeloria. Years passed, and Elara and Kael's love continued to grow, their bond deepening with each shared experience. They became the guardians of both the village and the forest, ensuring that the harmony between the two was maintained. Their story became a legend, inspiring others to respect and protect the natural world. One day, a group of travelers arrived in Eldenwood, seeking the wisdom of Elara and Kael. Among them was a young woman named Lyra, who possessed a rare gift, an innate connection to nature, just like Elara once had. Elara felt a pang of recognition as she spoke with Lyra, realizing that her gift had not been lost, but had been passed on. The Guardian's words echoed in her mind, the magic will now flow to heal and protect. Lyra had been drawn to Eldenwood by the stories of the Enchanted Forest and the Guardians who protected it. She had felt the pull of Aeloria and knew that her destiny was somehow tied to the ancient magic. As Elara and Kael guided Lyra through the forest, teaching her the ways of the land and the importance of balance, they discovered that the magic of Aeloria was not just a relic of the past, but a living, breathing force that continued to shape the world. Elara realized that the sacrifices they had made were part of a larger cycle, a cycle of renewal and rebirth. The magic of the forest was not diminished, it had simply found a new vessel. With Lyra by their side, Elara and Kael felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had become part of a timeless legacy, ensuring that the magic of Aeloria would continue to flow, healing and protecting for generations to come. And so, the Enchanted Forest of Aeloria remained a place of wonder and mystery, its secrets guarded by those who understood the true meaning of magic. Elara and Kael's love story became a beacon of hope, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies in the connections we forge, the sacrifices we make, and the courage we find within ourselves. In the heart of Aeloria, the ancient oak stood tall, its branches reaching towards the sky like the arms of a guardian. And in the whispers of the wind and the rustle of the leaves, the magic of the forest lived on, a timeless testament to the power of love and the enduring spirit of those who believed. This has been a Storytime story on YouTube. Thanks for listening.